At the election, people voted for a whole new approach, and that is what I am determined to deliver. The strategy that I have consistently set out is to grow the supply side of our economy, recognising that first and foremost, it is businesses, investors and entrepreneurs who drive economic growth. A government that systematically removes barriers that they face, one by one, and has their back is the solution to our challenges. This strategy has three elements. First, stability. Stability in our politics, our public finances, and our economy. The basic condition for secure economic growth. Second, reform. Reform which makes it easier for businesses to trade, to raise finance, and to build. And third, investment, the lifeblood of economic growth. Let me explain each of those in turn. Stability. The first line of our manifesto was a promise to bring stability back to our public finances. It is the rock upon which everything else is built. And it is an essential foundation in our plan for change. Because economic stability is the precondition for economic growth. That's why the first piece of legislation that we passed as a government was the Budget Responsibility Act. So that never again can we see our independent forecasters sidelined. And never again will we see a repeat of the Liz Truss mini-budget, which sent borrowing costs and mortgage rates spiralling for families and for businesses. At my first budget in October, it was my duty as Chancellor to fix the foundations of our economy and repair the public finances that we inherited, to restore stability and create the conditions for growth and investment. I set out new fiscal rules, which are non-negotiable and will always be met. We began to rebuild our NHS and our schools, the start of a programme of public service reform. I capped the rate of corporation tax, and I extended our generous capital allowances for the duration of this Parliament, as the CBI and the BCC have called for. And I protected working people after a cost of living crisis by freezing fuel duty with no increases in their national insurance, income tax or VAT. But taking the right decisions and the responsible decisions does not always mean taking the easy decisions. The increase in employers' national insurance contributions has consequences on business and beyond. I said that up front in my budget speech. I accept that there are costs to responsibility. But the costs of irresponsibility would have been far higher. Those who oppose my budget know that too. That is why, since October, I've seen no alternative put forward by the opposition parties. No alternative to deal with the challenges that we face. No alternative to restoring economic stability. And therefore, no plan for driving economic growth. Alongside stability, we need to drive forward the reform which makes investment more likely by removing the constraints on the supply side of our economy, making it easier for businesses to trade, to raise finance, and to build. Let me first address our approach to trade. We stand at a moment of global change. In that context, we should be guided by one clear principle above all: to act in the national interest, for our economy, for our businesses, and for the British people. That means building on our special relationship with the United States under President Trump. The Prime Minister discussed the vital importance of growth with the President last weekend. And I look forward to working with the new Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, to deepen our economic relationship in the months and years ahead. Acting in our national interest also means resetting our relationship with the EU, our nearest and our largest trading partner, to drive growth and support business. We are pragmatic about the challenges that we have inherited from the last government's failed Brexit deal. But we are also ambitious in our goals. Unlike the Conservative Party, whose policy was not to engage with the European Union at all, we will prioritise proposals that are consistent with our manifesto commitments and which contribute to British growth and British prosperity, because that is what the national interest demands. Our approach to trade also means building stronger relationships with fast-growing economies all around the world. That is why I led a delegation to China for the first economic and financial dialogue since 2019, alongside world-leading financial services businesses, including HSBC, Standard Chartered and Schroders, unlocking £600 million of tangible benefits for the UK economy. And I am pleased to confirm that the Business and Trade Secretary will shortly visit India to restart talks on the free trade agreement and bilateral investment treaty that the last government failed to deliver.